was beautiful, Brenda. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. My name is Benjamin. I prefer Benjamin's pronouns, but he, him, his is still okay. I've been a member of this fellowship for almost 2 years. I'm currently the chair of the Welcoming Congregation Committee. I'm part of the finance team, the justice team, the Web of Life, and X to Z. Unitarian Universalism is a religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our interconnections, connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe of which we are all a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in the community, and we welcome you, whoever you are and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those of you joining us online, hello, welcome. If you are new, please check out our website, uufayetteville.org, for more information. For those visiting us for the first time, there's a white card in the back of the seat in front of you. We'd love for you to fill one of those out to get on our email list and keep you informed of our events. And later in the service, we will have a time where you're invited to come forward and drop a stone symbolizing your joy and concern into our bowl of water. If you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, we invite you to fill out one of the yellow cards. I have one of these up here. I lost it. In the seat back in front of you. You can bring that forward while we're dropping the stones, and if you're online, you can write your joy and concerns on the comments in Facebook, but those will be public. If you have any need for hearing assistance, our AV tech, David over there, can help you with that. And children are always welcome in our service, but there is a staff nursery downstairs if you prefer. Please remember also to silence your cell phones as we enter into our service. Thank you.
Please join me as I light the chalice. Love is the spirit of this community,
and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another, thus we become together.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. As we gather today, may this be a space where all of who you are is not just allowed, but welcomed. The difference is not seen as something to overcome, but something to honor. May we hold space for one another with open hearts, remembering that every battle, every struggle, and every presence here adds something meaningful to this community. Let's begin our time together with openness, curiosity, and care.
Number 1053 in the Teal book. How could anyone, I think most of us are familiar with this one. Please rise in body and spirit as you're willing and able. We will sing it through twice.
So our story for all ages this morning is Different, a Great Thing to Be, by Heather Avis and Sarah Mensings. Scoot in closer and sit next to me while I tell you the story of my friend, Macy. She can swim underwater, balance on logs. She can whistle, almost. She has a pet dog. She reads books and jumps high like kangaroos do. She takes hip-hop class and prefers to wear blue. She's a fun-loving kid, much like you and me, but she's also quite different, a great thing to be. A bit small for her age, Macy doesn't talk much. She takes her time while others rush, rush, rush. She says, "Hi, what's your name?" to both strangers and friends, and sometimes sings on after her favorite song ends. While Macy believes that different is grand, others at times just don't understand. Some people stare rudely, and Macy's been told, "You don't belong here. You don't fit the mold." This kind of rejection can sting, it is true, but the thing about Macy, and the thing about you, is the brain in her head and the brave in her heart know her place in this world is not separate or apart. When those scared of different tried to keep Macy out, she just wouldn't give up, nor did she pout. She looked at the people on her left and her right, and with a great burst of courage yelled with all her might, "Hey, you, look at me. We're a lot alike, you see, but we're also each different, which is a great thing to be." Others around her realized Macy was right. They all watched in wonder as her spirit shone bright. At her school, at the park, at the dance studio, she brought the beauty of different to each place she would go. People learned to admire Macy's outlook on life. Sameness is fine, but different brings light. With brave in their hearts and with Macy to guide, the different in each one glowed from inside. Now it's your turn, dear one, to create a safe space. Be fearless like Macy and choose to embrace all that you are so others will see that different is truly a great thing to be. Thank you.
What a great story and a great service. So glad everyone's here. One of our favorite traditions is a sharing of joys, concerns, and milestones where those who want can come up and pick out a stone, or some people pick out several stones. I noticed some people are very intentional about which stones they pick and then drop them in the bowl of water. And part of the significance of this, the sharing of our joys, concerns, milestones, ripples out to this community and to the world. Some of you may have things you want shared, and that's what the yellow cards are for, so you can bring those up. Callie is my lovely assistant today. Channeling The Price is Right, just a little bit. Okay. Yes. Yeah, the order of service says this is Renee and me, but anyway, we're doing it. I'm channeling Renee and she's channeling me, so we're all here. But we invite you to come up during the music, drop a stone, and if you have a card, hand that to me and indicate whether you want it read aloud or not. Okay. David, do we have any joys and concerns shared online this morning? And this one, anonymous, concerned that EPA and endangered species are being marginalized. Very good. And a concern that people won't stand up and preserve the rule of law in our country. Oh my. We all share that concern, I think, and a lot of concerns about our country. But I'm glad to belong to a group that cares, is paying attention, and is willing and able to do something and to stand up, I hope. All right. Let's drop a few more stones for joys and concerns, maybe that we held close to our hearts this morning and didn't share, but they're there. And some more for the joys and concerns we will enter into this coming week. And let's take 60 seconds to, if you pray, you can pray, but to meditate, reflect on the things we've heard and the things in our hearts.
The important work of this fellowship is possible because of your generous contributions of time, talent, and treasure. Every contribution of every size is helpful and appreciated. As we pass the offering baskets, we invite you to share financially. If you prefer, you may give at our website, uufayetteville.org, or by texting the number on the slide next to me, or by mailing checks to our office. Will the ushers please come forward? And Brenda?
belonging as an I, a battle against a whole life. I was born with a rare syndrome called Moebius Syndrome. It affects the 6th and 7th coronal nerves from full developing. It means that most of the muscles in my face are paralyzed. It also means that I had a vision impairment, a speech impairment, had a trunk from a couple weeks old until I was 9 years old. It includes that I went through from a couple weeks old until I was 23 years old. And muscle weakness. When parents found out a baby is coming into the world, they usually think about everything than religion. They assume some things are just a given. Walking, talking, eating, speaking, smiling, breathing, until they aren't. My parents were told by many doctors during the first months of my life the things they thought I wouldn't be able to do. That didn't just end with the doctors. My whole life, people had just taken one look at me, that just listened to a few words I spoke, and bam, the conga line of assumptions of what I can't do starts in their heads and prevents them from seeing the woman standing before me today. Guys, look to the end, okay? The women running this whole damn service this morning with a speech impairment, so I had everything on the sides. With a natural, cute little lopsided miracle of a smile, when most people who had Moebius don't have that ability to smile. Who has a vision impairment, so my notes are size 15 text. But who has enough perseverance, grit, stubbornness, sassiness, and the right to fill up this whole sanctuary. Who has turned every weak hand I've gotten into a heck yes I can just watch me. So today, I want to talk about what it means to live with physical disabilities and to be seen as whole. And I want to ask, what does it mean to truly honor the worth and dignity of every person, not just in theory, but in practice? What does it mean to belong as we are? Meaning the cultural narrative. The Americans with Disability Act's definition of disability is a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. I want to focus on the word limits in that definition. It says limits, not that absolutely under no circumstances can't do something. In my life, as a disability services professional, what that means to me is, sir, I can't do some things like a lot of people can. That it takes me longer to do something. I just do it differently. And better believe I'm so certain I've been doing it. And sometimes neither is better than how most people do it. For example, at work, I always had outlines when I run meetings. And a lot of people say it's really helpful to be able to follow along on the outline. I always like to say, just because someone's doing it differently doesn't mean they're doing it wrong. There are certain phrases I've heard throughout my life with such an inspiration. I don't feel this about it. I don't know how to do it. It's people's way of trying to connect, of trying to say, I soon. And hey, if you need an inspiration, by all means, order it. I mean, I am feeling awesome. But if you really want to connect with me, a better way of doing it is saying, hey, how are you really doing? Or hey, you seem quiet the past couple of times I've seen you. Do you want a hug? It's not putting us on a pedestal, but sitting with us when the world feels overwhelming and the cards you then felt seem really unfair. The culture we live in tells us settling and not so settling, that bodies should look and move and communicate a certain way to be considered whole. But if you take that idea seriously, it means that anyone who doesn't fit that mold is somehow less than. And that's not just wrong. That's deeply harmful. Unitarian Universalism calls us to something different. It calls us to remember that every person, every body has inherent life. Not because they look like me, not because they communicate the way we do, but because they simply exist. Those learning live and wholeness. Unitarian Universalism teaches that every person has inherent worth and dignity. It's one of our clear values. And when we don't sit with it, it's radical. Because it means their value isn't something you earn. It isn't based on how productive you are, how eloquently you speak, or how much the things can express. It simply is. For me, this value has been both comforting and challenging. Comforting because it tells me that I don't need to prove my worth to anyone. Challenging because I still live in a world that often doesn't treat me that way. The truth is, this isn't just about disability. This is about all of us. We all have parts of ourselves we really make us less than. Things we hide, apologize for, try to fix. But what if those very parts of us are not only acceptable, but worthy of love and belonging? What if they're part of what makes us whole? This is the lens that I invite you to look through. Not just then think of someone like me, but then think of yourself, of the community, of strangers and pass on the street. Live and dignity aren't things we give to people who earned them. The things we recognize in everyone, every time. Beyond accessibility toward belonging. It's easy to talk about inclusion like it's a checklist. Ramps, captions, accessible bathrooms. And yes, those things matter. My job would literally not exist without them. They are really necessary things to make sense. But inclusion isn't just about logistics. It's about belonging. It's about whether people feel like they are truly meant to be in the room, not just being allowed to be there. There have been places after technical entry that states are deeply out of place, that I had to work twice as hard to make others comfortable around me, or prove that I was willing to be there, that I had to explain or justify my existence. That's not belonging. That's dehumanizing. True belonging is when I didn't have to explain myself first. Then I didn't have to mask my disabilities. Then I didn't have to shrink myself to make others comfortable. It's when people take time to actively listen instead of assuming and hard to reach. It's when my presence is not just a surprise, it's expected, welcomed, and even celebrated. Unitarian Universalist communities have such a powerful opportunity because all values already make sense for this kind of care. But values alone aren't enough. You have to live them. And how you listen, and how you show up, how you widen our definitions of beauty, ability, and connection. Belonging isn't about erasing differences or disabilities. It's making room for them, and not just room, honor. Before I finish, I'll invite you into a moment of silence, a space to breathe, to reflect on what it means to be seen and to see others, to honor the quiet truth that we are all carrying something unseen. Let's sit together for a few moments in stillness, in presence, and in care. The beauty of being. I want to leave with this. I don't need to speak like you to be heard. I don't need to look like you to feel connected. And I don't need to be fixed to feel whole. Living with Moebius Syndrome has taught me that wholeness doesn't come from how others perceive me. It comes from how deeply I'm willing to live into who I am. And it's taught me that we are all more than we appear. Every single one of us. So I invite you to look again, not just at me, but at the world around you, at the people who seem hard to read, at the ones who move differently, who speak differently, and show up in unexpected ways. See them, honor them, and don't assume they need fixing. Assume they belong, because they do. They all do. Not because of what we can offer, or how well we fit in, but simply because we're here. And that in itself is enough. I moved here from Wisconsin in July of 2021 to work at the University of Arkansas. UUFF was one of the first places that I felt truly seen, welcomed, and wanted for being my authentic self. Not seen as my disability, but seen from my soul's beautiful light. And it never faded there through my heart's home. And started the journey of me finally riding back to the woman I was always meant to be. So I would personally say, I think this fellowship is doing a great job at seeing the inherent worth and dignity in every person. Thank you, guys.
Give us a second to set up. Okay. I think most of us are familiar with this song and have heard the great Summer Osborne perform it to my best. This is our closing hymn, so please rise as you're willing and able and sing with us. The words are on the screen. I'm going to do my best, okay? Here we go. I am here. I am home as I am. I am safe. I am loved as I I am grateful and I'm free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here. I am whole as I am. Nothing can illuminate the darkness like a serenade. Nothing can release like a song. We're close, but then we're closer than we've ever been. So let's walk together on and on. I am here. I am whole as I am. I am safe. I
Please say the words with me as we extinguish this chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth,
the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
And also, Dustin had an announcement to make, and then I'll hand it over to Alli.
Good morning. My name's Dustin Cook. I have the honor and privilege of serving on UUFF's board. Next Sunday, we're doing something really, really fun, potentially. It will be fun. I'm going to have a great time. Coffee with the board. So one of the things that we, the board, are very concerned with is how do we communicate with you all? Because y'all are the point. You know, it's not about us, it's about y'all. The other side of that coin is giving y'all an opportunity to communicate with us. So this will be kind of an informal thing. Just immediately after service, we're gonna hang out. I made a paper that just kind of goes over what we as the board have been doing, or at least trying to accomplish, that I'd be happy to kind of go over and share. But then the part I'm more excited about is giving y'all the opportunity to tell us any questions you have, any comments, any concerns, any ideas. If you're like, hey, I have this talent and I don't feel like I'm using it for anybody, hey, let me know and I will gladly put you to work. So join us next week immediately after service, and I look forward to talking and hopefully hearing some good ideas. And then, Alli.
Okay, now let's wrap it up. As we go from this place, know that carrying with us a deeper commitment to soon one another serving, without condition or expectation. Knowing the number that this is not end, and wholeness does not require fiction. Let us move forward with open eyes, open arms, and the quiet knowing that you and those who meet are already enough. Go in peace and go in love.